Is there somebody in your life who has wronged you and hurt you so deeply that you are still, after however long this time has been, you're still waiting for an apology? And you're still stuck in a situation where you think that you can't completely heal without that apology, and you think that if you got that apology, then you could heal and then you could move on, right? This could be an ex-relationship, it could be an old friend that you had a falling out over something that they did to you, could be a family member even. But regardless of whoever it is, sometimes we can be stuck. We can be stuck in our healing because we're waiting for an apology that may never happen. And we also need to be able to reflect and think, is there anybody in my life who's waiting for an apology for something that I've done and when I've wronged them too, right? But let's think about that situation where you are stuck in that rut and you so badly want to heal and move on, but you're just finding it incredibly difficult because you've not received that apology. And sometimes it feels like just that acknowledgement, that apology would make everything okay and that you could be fine after that. Well, let's go ahead and look to the Bible about a situation like this, because when we do wait for apologies from people who have hurt us, what ultimately is that? That's us focusing on the past. It really is. And let's look at Isaiah chapter 43, super, super encouraging passage here that starts at verse 18 that says, "But forget all that. It is nothing compared to what I am going to do. For I am about to do something new. See, I have already begun. Do you not see it? I will make a pathway through the wilderness. I will create rivers in the dry wasteland." So God has a plan for you, right? There is a hope and a future and a plan for you. And I know life can be so tough sometimes, and we can be so hurt by people, and it's really, really hard to move forward from that. But just remember that no matter how many people have hurt you, that Jesus loves you truly, and God has a plan for your life. Every detail of your life, God takes delight in. I just shared that on my Instagram stories yesterday, I believe. And I know some people think that God's too busy to notice this or notice that, or to care about this thing in your life or that thing. But God is all powerful, and that's something that is so hard for us to comprehend. God is so powerful that yes, he can focus on the big things like this war going on over here, or this whatever's good, these gigantic problems in the world, but then he can also focus on every even little details of our lives, right? Just seeing a butterfly outside, a butterfly landing on your shoulder, that can just make your day. That could be a gift from God from that day, just to bring a smile to your face. So just know that the Bible does tell us God delights in every single detail of the lives of those who love him and who follow him, right? So whatever it is that you're hurting over, and that you feel like you can't move on without an apology, sometimes we just have to, and not even sometimes, in these situations, what we really have to do to move on and heal, because what you'll find is what if you got that apology, right? What if you still got that apology? It wouldn't make everything better, especially if the person who apologized turn around and do the same thing again. I've had that happen, and it's like, and I don't harbor any sort of grudges or anything like that, but it was just a big wake-up call for me that sometimes getting that apology that you so crave, that you think will make everything better and make it where you're able to heal, sometimes that won't help you heal. Because I've had that happen where somebody had done me wrong and I held on to that pain, and then I got that apology later, like years later. And then after getting the apology and welcoming someone back in my life who hurt me originally, then they do the same thing again, right? That's typical. That happens a lot, right? So you may feel like your healing and you moving on is just, you get that apology and you're good. Well, what if that apology lets you welcome that person back in your life just to hurt you again, and then you learn a lesson of like, why was I waiting for an apology for somebody who is just going to do that again, or who wasn't even actually sorry and just said that as a means to get back in your life and then hurt you again, right? Also, it's important for us to show grace to people as well, because even in situations like that, I don't want to be bitter over past hurts and things that people have done wrong. All of us have done things wrong to people, right? And sometimes, we should apologize when we reflect on things like that, and we should make things right with people that we have hurt. But sometimes people aren't going to get an apology from us that they deserve as well. So definitely reflect on that as well and show grace with people. You just got to forgive and move on at the end of the day, and realize that God has a plan for you. Whoever it is that hurt you was a part of your story, and God is in control of everything in your life. If you are following Him and truly focused on Him, then every detail of your life He is aware of and He cares about. Okay, so whether somebody will apologize to you, or whether somebody is even supposed to be in your life again or not, like, God is in control, and God can direct that and direct you on that, right? So it helps just to keep in mind that this was a part of my story, and the person who hurt you was a part of your story, but that doesn't mean that they have to be there forever. You can still forgive them, even if they never apologize to you. And some people don't like hearing that. A lot of people don't like hearing that, because I've talked about forgiveness on here and on my other social media platforms, and how important it is to forgive. Like, we must forgive people. The Bible is very clear on this. Jesus said, you gotta forgive people, or the Father won't forgive you. So God won't forgive you if you can't forgive others. And some people get really upset about that, or they say, oh, well, I only have to forgive somebody if they apologize. I don't have to forgive somebody if they didn't apologize to me. But when the Bible talks about, oh, my cat is playing with the tripod, I don't want him to knock it down. When the Bible talks about us forgiving people, it doesn't say that we only forgive people when they apologize to you. And I'm of the belief that we should forgive everybody who had wronged us, regardless of if they apologized or not. We should forgive. It doesn't mean that you should let that person back in your life to hurt you again, but we should forgive. It's just, anybody can forgive somebody if they apologize. I mean, that's easy. But my cat's acting crazy right now. But yeah, and it's also so important for your healing as well, because if you are holding grudges and you're not able to forgive people, you're not going to be able to heal. Like, truly, if we want to focus on, like, and it will affect your health. I truly believe that if we harbor anger, we harbor resentment, we harbor judgment, grudges on people who have hurt us, and we can't show grace and forgive people and realize that, hey, everybody's human and makes mistakes, right? Then we put ourselves in a situation where we can actually cause physical illness in our lives. You can see all over people's faces if somebody is holding a lot of hate, anger, resentment, all of that. You will see that. You can see that on somebody's countenance, but also you can really bring illness on yourself. I 1000% believe, not that everybody who's ill brought it on themselves. I'm not saying that by any means. Some people get offended when I talk about this topic because they think I'm saying everybody who's sick brought it on themselves, or they don't like that. They don't like to be told that you can make yourself ill through sin, but you can. And harboring a grudge, harboring anger, harboring resentment, that is sin. So, it's not, waiting for that apology isn't always through anger or a grudge. It can be just deep sadness and wanting to heal from something, but it is a sin to stay dwelling on the past. It just is. And I know I have a problem with this. And so this is a sin that I pray a lot that I can overcome. A lot of people just think that sin just means, just the lying, stealing, murder, adultery, the obvious things. But there are so many things that are a sin that are, not trusting in God for your future, for example. Worry can be a sin. Anxiety, not always. There's some disorders, but anxiety can be a result of us not trusting God, and that would be a sin, right? Things like that. So bear in mind that God is in control of your life, If you give your life to Him and you are walking and you are locked in on Him, you're not going to accidentally fall off His path for you. God will reveal to you. You know, you're not going to have the big picture and know everything you're supposed to do, but if you truly are locked in on God, you're going to look back and you're going to say, oh, look how God was in control the whole time. And you didn't even realize it during sometimes when you were stressed and all that stuff. But stay locked in. Read the Bible each and every single day. Pray, give it to God. Like if there's somebody, I would encourage you today, if there's somebody that you're waiting for an apology for, be in prayer with God today and say, Lord, help me to move on from this. If you haven't forgiven that person, say, Lord, please help me to forgive this person. I'm choosing. And you know what? It's easier said than done. But choose. Actively decide to forgive that person and actively decide that you will be moving on through the grace and love of Jesus Christ and that you don't need their apology anymore. I know it's easier said than done, but tell yourself that. Just tell yourself, you know, I am moving on. I wish nothing but love and grace for that person that wronged me. I will forgive them, and I'm making this decision to do that today. And if you find, we can take all of our thoughts captive, and we should. If you find those thoughts that are popping in that you're still upset about how somebody treated you, this, that, or the other, you still want that apology, immediately take hold of that thought and say, I forgive them. I hope they're doing well. I'm moving on without a need for, without them apologizing, right? And who knows, they may come around, they may apologize, they may be in your life, they may not be in your life. We don't know what the future will hold with that. But God is in control. Lock in, make God your priority in life, and living according to His purpose and His word, and read the Bible each and every single day, because it will soften your heart more than anything ever could. So I hope that this video was encouraging to somebody today. Thank you all so much for your fellowship. As always, if you have any prayer requests, feel free to leave those in the comments so that we can pray for each other. But thank you all so much. Much love, and God bless.